Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be there at the very beginning, part of a new community where every single revelation is literally shaping the world around you? Well, today, we're going to do just that. We're stepping into that world to explore one of the most foundational chapters in the Quran, Al-Ma'idah, or as it's known, the table spread. So right out of the gate, it doesn't start with a story. It starts with a direct, powerful command. Fulfill your contracts. And listen, this isn't just about business deals. This is about every promise, every single pledge you make to God, to your family, to your community, to yourself. It sets this incredibly serious tone for everything that's about to come. To really get a feel for this, we're going to follow along through the eyes of a young believer we'll call Zaid. He's fired up with faith, but, like the rest of us, he's got questions. So as these verses are being revealed, he's trying to connect the dots and figure out what it all means for him and the society they're building together. For Zaid, listening to these words must have felt like he was watching a constitution being written in real time. This isn't just some random list of rules. He's realizing it's a blueprint for a just, fair, and righteous society. You can almost feel the weight of it, the excitement in the air as these core principles are being laid out for the very first time. And Zaid's probably noticing how practical this all is. The guidance covers everything from what foods are permissible to a hard stop on things like intoxicants and gambling, things that can just tear a community apart. Then he hears this radical idea: uphold justice, even if it's against your own family. And he gets it. These aren't just arbitrary rules. They're here to protect reason, brotherhood, and truth itself. So just as Zaid is processing all these laws, the revelation pivots. It shifts from lawmaking to storytelling, bringing up tales from the past. And he quickly realizes, wait a minute, these aren't just bedtime stories. They're case studies. They're cautionary tales that answer the big, unspoken question. So, what happens when we fail to keep our side of the bargain? And the first example is a heavy one. The two sons of Adam, Habil and Qabil. You might know them as Abel and Cain. One's offering is accepted because he's humble and sincere. The other's rejected because it's rooted in arrogance. And that jealousy, it spirals into the very first murder. For Zaid, the lesson is crystal clear. Rejecting God's will out of pride, that's the seed for every disaster that follows. Next up, we hear about the Israelites. They were literally given miraculous food from the sky, manna and quails. A direct blessing, right? But instead of being grateful, they complained. They wanted the simple earthly stuff they were used to, onions and lentils. I mean, this quote just perfectly captures that impatience, that complete lack of perspective. And here's the bottom line. They traded divine, spiritual nourishment for temporary, worldly comfort. For Zaid, this must be a huge light bulb moment about human nature. How many times do we trade something of real, lasting value for something cheap and easy right now? It's a question that just kind of hangs there, doesn't it? And all of this leads us to the main event, the story that gives this whole chapter its name. The disciples of Jesus ask for a miracle, a physical sign to really lock in their faith. It's a bold question, almost a challenge. Can your Lord send down a feast from heaven? The tension is just, wow, how is this request going to be answered? Jesus warns them. He says, look, this is a serious test. But they push for it. And the miracle happens. A table, a whole banquet, comes down from the heavens. But there's a catch, a huge one. This is the ultimate proof, and if anyone sees it and then turns away in disbelief, the punishment will be unlike any other. It's a powerful lesson. With incredible signs comes incredible responsibility. Okay, so after these stories of tests, of failures, the tone of the revelation changes again. Zaid can probably feel a sense of finality in the air, like all the loose ends from centuries of religious history are about to be tied up nice and neat. The message is building to its climax, to a point of absolute, undeniable clarity. Then we get this unbelievable scene, a glimpse of the day of judgment. God asks Jesus directly, "Did you ever tell people to worship you and your mother?" And Jesus' response is immediate. Of course not. He says he only ever told them what he was commanded to say. For Zaid, hearing this must be like a bolt of lightning, cutting through centuries of confusion with just a few clear, powerful words. And right there, in that moment, everything clicks for Zaid. The message, it's always been the same, from Adam to Noah to Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and now Muhammad.
The court teaching has always been this pure, simple, and powerful idea. Worship the one God, who is my Lord and your Lord. Period.
And then, this verse lands. The one that feels like the capstone on the entire structure. It's a declaration of completion. The guidance is now perfect. The favor is now complete. For Zayd and everyone listening, these words mean that the framework for their faith, for their entire way of life, is now set in stone. A deep, profound sense of finality just settles over everyone. So as the revelation draws to a close, Zayd starts putting all the pieces together. He's thinking about the laws, the stories of those broken promises, that ultimate test of the table, and the final clear message. And he realizes the chapter's title, The Table Spread, means so much more than he first thought. And this is the beautiful takeaway. The table spread wasn't just that one-time miracle for the disciples. The entire chapter is the table spread. It's a divine banquet of guidance, of history, of law, and of wisdom laid out for all of us. It's a feast of knowledge and truth, and everyone's invited. Which brings us right back to where we started. A contract. The chapter opens with a command to fulfill your contracts, and it closes by presenting us with this complete spiritual banquet. The guidance is all there, the table is set. And so the question it leaves for us, the same one now facing Zayd, is actually pretty simple. Are we going to accept the invitation?